Tourism has always been a major part of Florida's legacy, and St. Lucie County is very much part of that tradition. But have you explored all that St. Lucie County has to offer? From professional sport events to pristine waters and secluded environmental preserves, from marine education centers and museums to diverse cultural festivals, St. Lucie County has something for everyone. So join us as we vacation in our own backyard and send you postcards from home.
Welcome to Postcards from Home, a show that highlights St. Lucie County's natural and cultural treasures. I'm your host, Eric Gill, and each month we take a look at some of St. Lucie County's best known parks, museums, and nature preserves, as well as highlighting some of its best kept secrets. And on this month's show, we're getting a taste of St. Lucie County's first craft brewery, Sailfish Brewing Company. Located in downtown Fort Pierce, Sailfish has been producing craft beer since 2013. The expansive tap room features 24 taps of original brews, all handmade right here in St. Lucie County. Open 7 days a week, the tap room features entertainment from all ages, from bingo and trivia nights to live music and foosball. Plus, it's pet friendly. So before the beer gets warm, let's go inside and meet some of the staff and brewers here at Sailfish Brewing Company. Well, Taylor, thanks for taking the time to meet with me today. You guys aren't open yet for the public, but
not yet.
And talk to me a little bit about the history of Sailfish Brewery. You guys were the first brewery to open, a local craft brewery to open up on the entire Treasure Coast.
We were the first brewery to open. We opened back in 2013.
And originally it was downtown Fort Pierce. You're still downtown Fort Pierce. You're just expanded to a bigger location. Yeah. Was that because of the demand?
Yeah, you know, we found that we were not able to keep up with the demand that people wanted in distribution, as well as wanting to get into the tap room. We found this space was available, and it was exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted to be a bigger part of downtown Fort Pierce. We wanted to be in a more central location, and we needed more room.
Yeah.
We needed to brew more beer.
Yeah. And I'll talk to Dave, the owner, later to give us the background and the history, but you're the director of operations, so you can fill us in on the day-to-day activities that goes on here at Sailfish, because even though it's a bar, it's got a family-friendly atmosphere to it. It's not really just a bar.
Absolutely. All of the events that we host, anything that we put together, we really try and target families. We want everyone to be able to come. We do a lot of work for nonprofit agencies across St. Lucie County. We give back to a lot of different children's organizations. We all have kids. We want people to feel welcome to come here with their families.
But it's also pet friendly. You can bring your dogs
We
here?
are pet friendly. We are actually starting our Sunday dog days. It's going to be the last Sunday of the month. We are working with Paws for Vets for the first one. It's starting in August. So everyone will be encouraged to bring their dogs. We're going to have spent grain dog treats, where part of the proceeds from the day are going back to the organizations that we're going to be having here. We're going to be doing some adoption and foster programs. So it's really exciting. Not only can you bring your dog, but we actually do events for dogs as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of events, I know recently you had the Sailfish Beer Mile. There's been, and you've even partnered with St. Lucie County when we had Fly the Whale come. You guys were out there partnering with that new airline and offering free trips to the Bahamas.
So recently we had the Sailfish Beer Mile, which we raised over $7,000. We didn't, the people that came and ran raised over $7,000 for the St. Lucie County Education Foundation by coming and running a mile while drinking some beer in the downpour rain.
Yes, I just came and had a beer. I'll donate. I don't need to run for it. I'll just have a seat.
It was our best beer mile yet. We were really had a great time, and you know, we followed it up with the next weekend with a food and beer pairing. That was a fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club of St. Lucie County. We actually had 11 restaurants from here on the Treasure Coast, 9 breweries, Pierce Cider and Summer Crush Winery all come out, get partnered up with a restaurant, and we had 200 attendees for that event.
That's something I think that is really amazing about Sailfish and all the other breweries on the Treasure Coast. Even though you're in the same business in your competition, you really partner well with those, like the Wine and Ale Trail map behind you, which I think was Gary Roberts' idea from Summer Crush, and we did a postcards there. So you guys encourage that cross collaboration, not just with sending people business their way, but partnering on. You guys did a partnership with OIB, and there's a new one now with Summer.
We actually just had one with Summer Crush came out last week. It's a dark saison that we used their grape must, which is everything left over from the grape after juicing. They reached out to us, gave us a whole lot of grape must and said, make a beer. So we have the Summer of Saisons that goes on at Sailfish every summer. We produce a variety of saisons throughout the summer, and it's just a fun thing for us to do. This summer we made Crushin' It, which is the dark saison with grape must from Summer Crush. You will actually be able to purchase it here and at Summer Crush Winery, and that's the only places it's going to be sold.
Awesome. Now, later on, we'll talk to some of the one of the brewers about the process and what's going on. But let's give an overview of the folks at home. You have 24 different taps here.
We have 24 different taps. Other than Pure Cider, we give one tap to them. Everything else is a Sailfish brew on. We have a pepper line, so we have something spicy usually on. We have a nitro draft. Lionfish is on. It's almost out, so get ready for the next pepper beer. That's the exciting part.
Yeah.
We do have a nitro line. Like right now we have Cheshire Catfish. It's our porter with chocolate, blackberries, and blueberries. It's phenomenal. It gives a nice creaminess to it. So yeah, we do have a really nice variety of drafts.
And folks are coming in here, have a beer, but you also have to go. You sell some canned stuff, and then you sell the crowlers and growlers.
We do. Within the last year, we've really amped up our canning game. We recently purchased a new canning line, a Wild Goose. Big deal.
Yeah, I helped a volunteer canning thing one time. It didn't go so well. It went well for me because I went home with like a case of burners. But
That would be our first canning run, and it was a disaster, which is why we have a new canning line.
Yes.
But we are ramping out special releases now, in addition to our cores that you can find widely distributed throughout the Treasure Coast and a lot of the Sunshine State now. But like last week, we had 2 different 16-ounce can releases come out. Peach Pounder, using all Florida peaches, and then our Hop Chowder, which is our New England style IPA. So it's pretty cool.
that's something too that's really cool about the craft beer movement is it's local. You guys try to use local grains, local ingredients, and I know even the Extension office and the University of Florida is talking about a hop program where they're going to try to get farmers to grow more hops.
Absolutely. It's a really cool thing. One of the things that our brewers are so passionate about is really showing off the Florida farmers, because it's a dying industry. Like, they're being replaced, and it's the saddest thing. So if we have the ability to show off what someone else is doing so well and to talk about it in a forum that someone wants to listen at, everyone's listening at the bar.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful opportunity to show a craft. The Cheshire Catfish I just mentioned, the blackberries and blueberries, all from Florida. We had to drive 6 hours to go and get those. So, I mean, that's a big deal, and it's a commitment that I think you have to make as a business to do it.
And speaking of the Extension office, I know they've even had sip and sew classes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Container gardening.
It's super awesome. They come out, they sell tickets. It's really cheap. It just covers the cost of the actual items that they use. And they come out and they teach like container gardening. They did different lettuce growings. Typically we do it in the fall, and we'll do it like once a month. It's a lot of fun.
And other events you've had, there's or still have trivia night, there's drum circle night, yoga.
We actually offer bingo night now on Mondays. Our yoga instructor is pregnant, and so she's taking a hiatus from yoga. But we've replaced it with a lot of really fun taproom events. We do Swig of Color comes in, and we do Sip of Paint every Tuesday. We recently partnered with Girls Pint Out here on the Treasure Coast. It's a nationwide craft beer women's group that we are now partnering with them for the first Tuesday of every month. We're doing some sort of a food and beer pairing.
Now let's get to the wine and ale show. We teased it a little bit, and I know a little bit, and so I have an unfair advantage because I've actually been in the commercials on it. And I'll work for beer anytime. Yeah, I'll work for free beer any day of the week. But it was a Sunday, and I wasn't on the clock, just for the record. How has that helped bring business in? And tell people that aren't familiar with the trail what it is.
So the Wine and Ale Trail is this awesome treasure map that the St. Lucie County and Indian River County Tourism Board have come up with. It highlights all of the breweries here on the Treasure Coast. I know that Mash Monkeys and Pure Cider are missing, but I know
We're working on it.
It's being updated. So at each place, at each brewery that you stop at, or winery that you stop at, you get a stamp on your treasure map that you can pick up at any of the locations. Once you have visited each spot on your treasure map, you get to collect the goods. You actually get a branded pint glass, which is really cool to add to your collection. I have a couple.
I've got a couple.
I do visit on occasion other places. So it's a really fun time. We see a huge output of people coming in from the Wine and Ale Trail. We get a lot of people that are double, triple goers. I mean, it just becomes a fun thing to do with your friends.
Sure.
It's a thing. And I honestly love that it's building so much for the Treasure Coast. People that love craft beer, they go to places with a lot of breweries. And so that's influencing our restaurants, that's influencing hotels, that's influencing retail shops. It's not just affecting us. So that's a double thumbs up.
Technically, it's an award-winning map. Yeah. I know a guy who behind that, we recently won some marketing pieces for that, and it's a great effort, again, like you said, to help promote each other, local businesses, and the industry itself, because it's spread to even, Asheville, North Carolina, and I was up visiting family in Wilmington, North Carolina. There are 8 breweries within downtown, so it's a growing industry. You guys have also, speaking of that, winning awards. You guys have entered some competitions for your brews.
We have last year we actually won for Florida Best Beer. We won 2 awards. In the honey category, we won 3rd place with Don't Poke the Bear. It's a lot of our favorites. That's our double honey blonde ale sitting at 8%. That is fabulous, that we use all Florida honey in. And then we also won a bronze in the smoked beer category for our Rise and High Rausch. It was one of our Oktoberfest beers last year, authentic German style lager with a fabulous smoked malt to it that won 2nd place. Awesome. Yeah, it was pretty amazing to be part of.
Now, when we talk too about the canning and the distribution, how far is Sailfish's reach?
So we're distributed up to North Orlando, down to the Keys, to the West Coast. Okay. The only place that we're really not right now in that footprint is Tampa.
Okay. I did send some beers up to some friends and family in North Carolina, and it was a big hit. So we got
That's
to
awesome.
slowly move up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of beer mules moving beer around.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that or not. I feel like Smokey and the Bandit, you're running across.
Oh, you drove it in the car. Yeah. That's right. I know.
We did ship it. I drove it. So what is the total staff here, number-wise?
Oh God, there's 17 for 2. I want to say there's 25 of us, plus minus.
All right. And then do you still use volunteers for the canning, or is that?
Yeah, we actually use volunteers with all of our canning runs. We typically have 2 to 3 volunteers on in the canning run at any time.
And they can get that information on your Facebook page? Or
yeah, if you're interested in volunteering, just reach out to our Facebook page. I respond to you. So.
Yes, you do. I've won a few growlers, and you've used that opportunity to do some marketing.
Absolutely, yeah. Our Facebook page is super active. We're really into social media, and we really just try and keep it fun and fresh and different. And show us. People send us pictures every day on Messenger of them showing off their dog or them on the beach. I'm like, man, put it on our regular Facebook. Show the world how great it is. So it's an awesome thing to experience.
What about the future of Sailfish? It seems like back there in the canning or brewery room, you still have some room to expand?
I love that it feels like that.
Yeah, at least when I walk there, it looks like you've got some open space.
And we do, absolutely. We actually just added 3 new 40-barrel tanks. We just went through a huge expansion in May. And at the same time as adding the canning line, we added an additional walk-in cooler that's ginormous. It's made a huge difference in our ability to produce and distribute. We added 3 new 40-barrel tanks as well as the canning line at the same time. We're going to just continue to grow. We want to grow organically, though. We're not trying to rush it. We want the demand for beer to be there and to be able to match that when it comes. We are looking to take over the state. Yeah, awesome. Absolutely.
Beer seems like the perfect thing to have at a party, at least, from my college days. So let's talk about what parties you have. There's been street festivals, and if somebody's interested in having a corporate party here, or you guys would entertain that as well?
Absolutely. We are definitely known for our parties. We have Oktoberfest coming up here in a very short period of time. We like to go all the way to the max. We definitely feature corporate parties. We have private events in the tap room weekly. Our Christmas calendar for Christmas parties is filling up really quickly. So if you want to book, just reach out to us on Facebook.
We mentioned earlier growlers. It doesn't have to be a Sailfish growler, right? Any growler you'll fill up?
Yeah, as long as it's clean. We have the right to deny it if it doesn't smell good. But
it's a little funky.
Absolutely, you got to clean your growlers. But we will fill any growler. If you don't remember your growler, we have a growler machine. We make big cans, 32-ounce cans, so whatever beer you want. It holds the beer. It's a little fresher than a growler. It holds it a little longer because it can seal it completely and nice and tightly. We sell kegs. If you're having a party and you want to buy a keg, just give us a call. We sell kegs all day long.
And then there's also a lot of going on too, music-wise. You guys have some space here, both indoor and outside on the patio, depending on the weather.
Absolutely. So our music game actually is getting stepped up in a big way right now. Our fire sprinkler system is about to be finished. It's been a long process, and we're really happy. So we're bringing music back inside, and actually starting in August, we're going to be having music Friday night, Saturday day, Saturday night, and Sunday day.
Wow, different bands the same day?
Different bands, different all the time. So as the music gets to be brought inside so we can all enjoy it in the air conditioning.
It's a little warm sometimes. At night it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but you know what? In Florida, we really like AC. It's weird. So we are really excited to be able to amp that up and be able to provide even better music for the Treasure Coast.
And we're sitting here in the merch room, even though it's part of the main. So you've got a lot of Sailfish paraphernalia that folks can come in and buy. If you don't want to mail the beer, you can mail them a hat, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We have an online store that's on our website. We sell T-shirts, long sleeves, jackets, all sorts of things. You can get Sailfish hats. We talked about we really like to keep things local. We get our hats, our dry fits, our shirts, everything from 2 vendors that are within the block from us. We can go and pick it up in our little wagon. It's pretty exciting stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Then have everyone, hey, let me get a shirt.
Well, Taylor, thank you so much for taking the time to give me an overview here of Sailfish. Not that I haven't been here before, but I didn't know a lot of the history and background, especially about the amount of tanks, some of the recent expansion you've got. And we got a chance. I think the owner's back there canning right now. He's going to give me a...
Boucher is ready to go.
Awesome. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to go behind the scenes here at Sailfish Brewery. Welcome back to Postcards from Home. I'm your host, Eric Gill, and I'm joined by Dave, one of the owners here at Sailfish.
Yes, sir.
How did all this get started?
Yeah, so almost definitely over 6 years ago, probably close to 7 years ago, Nick and I, just really had a desire to actually, start making some better beer in the Treasure Coast area here, we got together with our friend Mike too, so the 3 of us kind of got going, and we opened up down the street there in a little, 45-gallon Blickman system, and we're pretty much, brewing until 2-3 in the morning every night, and realized very quickly we couldn't make enough beer to keep up, so. We expanded next door with a 3-barrel system that we currently still have over here that kind of services the tap room. And from there we just kind of kept growing it right there locally, and eventually we realized we wanted to continue to grow this, and we couldn't do that at the property we're currently at. So moved down the street over here, brought some great team members on board, with Max and Hans and Ben and Danny, with Mike, Nick, and myself. And then up to that point we had a great team underneath us because we were pretty much moonlighting most of the time, trying to still maintain our current jobs and do this. And we had a great team of guys helping us with that and grew this to what it is currently. And we're just very fortunate the guys we have gotten us here to this point. And we have a great team here working with us. But back to what you asked. So we moved in the back over here, put our 20-barrel system in from DME, and then we started to hit more heavy into distribution throughout the state. Right now we're Orlando down to the Keys with distribution both package and draft. The demand for that's grown even further, so we had to expand again about 6 months ago back here with a canning line, more barrelage capacity, and some other improvements infrastructurally wise to the brewery. And then so for a while we had the production brewery here and our old tap room / 3-barrel system over there, so it made more sense to bring it all underneath one house. So about 1.5 years ago we opened up this new tap room here. If you've been to the old tap room versus this, it's a lot bigger. We did lose a little bit with the other location, where the charm and the reason that Nick and I and Mike fell in love with that spot was the old kind of Key West style approach and look, and the historical value associated with that, and honestly the huge yard we had back there. It was amazing.
That was nice. It was great because you have food trucks in there.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it was just very fortunate to have the partner we had with Charlie, who owned that property, allow us to do that there and get going, and now Pierce is there now, and it's kind of funny, that spot was home to the first brewery on the Treasure Coast, and now the first cidery on the Treasure Coast.
Yeah.
So this is pretty interesting, unique location for that would be the home to both of those first on the coast here. So.
And when you go all the way back in time, it was originally the Hill Studio.
Yeah, Harry Hill
family,
Studio.
Harry
Yeah,
Hill Studio.
yeah. So Harry, photographed the installation of the Flagler Railroad. So it was really cool. Charlie, who owned the property while we were there, had a great collection of old slides, and he actually even had Harry's old glasses that he found when he was renovating the building. So it was funny. Charlie would dress up as Harry Hill for the Ghost Walk.
Okay. Awesome.
So it was really cool about that, and and there's historical value associated with that because there's a reason it was on the Ghost Tour too. There's some other stuff that was done there that.
Is there any ghost brews?
We did have a brewer one time though, Kevin, who was up there. We actually had him living above the brewery.
Okay.
And he swears that place is haunted.
Yeah.
He had enough experiences living up there for 6 months that he's convinced that it was haunted. So.
One of the things I mentioned to Taylor was it seems like you guys really are a community-oriented business. You guys have partnered with the county on projects and city of Fort Pierce, and this facility's really helped revitalize downtown.
It's been great. Having been in downtown for almost a little over 5 years now, we've seen a huge change in the downtown area, and I think a lot of that has been putting this as a cornerstone right in the center of downtown because of the fact that it's a destination-driven location, and it brings a lot of people from out west, south, north, down to this focal point right here, and helps out with the other businesses around here too. But our thing is you have to love and own the market you're in, and this whole area has been so good to us. It's very important we give back as much as we possibly can. So whether it's the Boys and Girls Club, St. Lucie County Education Foundation, I feel like we have a lot of different organizations we try and do different partnerships with, but and give back as much. I think we got the food drive with the hunger.
Stand About Hunger.
Yeah, Stand About Hunger. Yeah, in September, October. So we got the can. Construction thing we started last year where we take each business in downtown builds a sculpture out of cans.
Oh, cool.
So it's a nice, fundraiser for that and raised awareness and also contribute all the cans from that towards that. So I feel like every month we're focusing on one specific charity drive for that month.
Well, I certainly appreciate everything you guys do. Do you mind if I go back and talk to some of the brewers?
By all means.
All right,
watch
cool.
out for any water hoses back there.
You got it. Well, Austin, thanks so much. I know you're in the middle of brewing right now, but tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Sailfish, because I understand you were a home brewer, won a contest, and then had to an apprenticeship for 6 months?
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, I started home brewing in 2013 and decided to enter a small contest that Sailfish had in July of 2014 with a buddy of mine who actually still works here as well. We made a Belgian IPA recipe, which at the time, there's only a few places really doing that style. So we ended up winning, and the prize was to brew that recipe on the 90 barrel or on the 90 gallon system, which is one that I'm brewing on today. So brewed that beer, and from there, the rest, kind of just worked out really easy. We started apprenticing for 6 months, just kind of learn everything, learn the brewery, and now here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, to me, I think the essential ingredient is obviously water. Yeah. You got to start with pure water, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We actually have a reverse osmosis system, which is all the membrane on the wall here. It cleans the water out to basically zero. It's
just H2O.
Yep, it's super basic. We add back all the salts, all the minerals that we need for the beer to actually have the right flavors that we look for in different styles. So we're really able to, make exactly what it is we want.
So when you won that contest, I was curious, how did you go, when you won the contest, was it a home recipe or was it something passed down from?
No, it was just something that we came up with. We actually blended a couple recipes out of a few books that we had. And we knew we liked the Belgian characteristics of the yeast that we used, and we love IPAs. So it was the Belgian IPA. It's super hoppy and a lot of cool flavors going on.
What's the process? How long does it take from start to finish? I mean, is every beer different?
Every beer is pretty different. From grain to glass, as I like to say, it could take anywhere from 3 weeks to 2 months, depending on what type of beer it is. If you're brewing an ale, those tend to go a lot quicker than a lager. The lagers will take a little longer. You actually store those for a while, and at a cooler temp, and kind of helps them clean up a little bit. So the time is really important for those. But then there's sour ales where there's mixed fermentation, and that could take years for the right flavors to develop.
You guys even have some whiskey barrel that stuff's aged a while, right?
Yes, yeah. We the last batch we did, I think it aged for about 8 months in a whiskey barrel. Yeah.
One of the things I love is Wednesday. It used to be called the Wee Batch,
Yeah,
but now
Wee
it's
Batch.
called the Randall.
Those. So the Wee Batch came about. We were actually doing super small batches of whatever beer we had, like maybe a little extra of, or something new that we wanted to play with a little bit, where we would do treatments in one keg. We'd only have the one keg for the day. It would basically only last the day. So the Randall, we actually infuse in the tap room with flavors. So the beer passes through little machine, and we can put whatever it is. Yesterday we did, I think it was peaches and pineapple. Mango and pineapple, that's right.
I had one after I got done diving.
Cool, okay.
After mini season, I came in, I was like,
There you go.
I want a beer.
Awesome. Yeah, so that just kind of keep it changing throughout the week. But we try to come out at least once a week with a new batch from the small system that I'm brewing on today.
And so you have 3 different systems in here?
We have 2 different systems. So we have the 90-gallon or 3-barrel system. We end up with about 16 kegs of each batch we do. And then we have our 20-barrel system, which is more for the production side of things. And we still get to have fun with it. We'll divvy up, a couple batches and put it into the small system and change them a little bit and do treatments with cool fruit, and mainly local ingredients is what we try to use.
Austin, it's a pleasure to meet you, and I appreciate what you do. It's a good public service for the folks, so trust me.
Thank you.
Beer has been around for centuries, and cities and counties across the country are cashing in on the craft beer craze, but Sailfish is the Treasure Coast's first craft brewery. Located at 130 North 2nd Street in downtown Fort Pierce, Sailfish has been crafting local beer on the Treasure Coast since 2013. Its expansive tap room features entertainment almost every night of the week, from live music to trivia and bingo nights. The tap room is open Mondays through Thursdays from noon to 11, Fridays from noon to midnight, Saturdays from 11 to midnight, and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. Brewery tours are available by appointment. To find out more about Sailfish Brewing Company and all their events, call the staff at 577-4382 or visit their website at sailfishbrewingco.com. That's all the time we have today, but if you'd like to see previously aired episodes of Postcards from Home, check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/StLucieGov. I'm your host, Eric Gill. Thanks for watching. We hope you'll tune in again next time as we continue to send out Postcards from Home.